the soul of New Orleans since 2006 has been Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Mickey Loomis, the GM of the team, addressed yesterday the future of a quarterback who is now 41, and it appears the Saints have some tough decisions to make at the position. Here's what Loomis had to say about Brees potentially being a Saint in 2020.
Drew Brees be a part of this franchise moving forward?
You have to ask Drew that, I think.
You want him back, Drew?
Yeah, obviously.
Is the market one that's kind of interesting to try to figure out what it is exactly right now?
Yeah, I don't know that I want to make any comments about that. I think the first thing is, it's clear we'd love to have Drew back, and if he wants to be back, then we'll go from there. So, I'm assuming that he does.
Yeah, that's only part of it. What they offer him financially will reflect how much they value him. Maybe they look at it and say, Drew, we want you back, but we want to use Taysom Hill more next year because we all recognize how much more potent he can be as a change of pace guy. We're not ready to make him the quarterback. We want you to be the quarterback. And so it's almost like not co-starters, but maybe we're going to use Taysom Hill 12 to 25% of the time, so we're going to pay you less so we can pay him more and keep it all together. He's going to have to be willing to do that, especially if there's somebody else out there. And I don't know that there is. 2 years ago, when he was due to become a free agent, Chris, remember I was banging the Vikings should sign him drum. I don't think anybody's going to be lining up to sign Drew Brees now.
No.
So if he does want to keep playing, it's going to be at the offer that the Saints put on the table, and that offer may be reduced in recognition of the fact that they also have to find a way to keep Taysom Hill around.
Yeah, the Taysom Hill factor is real in this whole situation, too. Taysom Hill, I'm sure he's going to want his agent to test the market, can kind of get a feel for what he would get if he became a free agent that way and could go out there and make money. We know that Sean Payton loves him that way. I'm not surprised to hear Mickey Loomis say this and all that. Drew Brees had a real good year. There's no doubt about it. The problem is at some point they got to figure out when to cut the cord. One thing is you can't look at the stats when it comes to Drew Brees. It doesn't matter. The stats are going to be good next year, even if he's not one of the 5 or one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football. Again, I would say he wasn't one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football this year, but his stats will tell you that. It doesn't matter who plays quarterback in New Orleans. The stats are going to be good. Teddy Bridgewater's stats were pretty good, and he didn't lose a football game as a starter there. So that's not. I'm not trying to disrespect Drew Brees, but I know I am to a degree. But that's just where he is in his age at this point. So that's where I find it interesting. And yes, the Taysom Hill thing, he has continued to become a better passer. And how many games this year, Mike, did we come away going, hey, Taysom Hill was the best player on the Saints offense. He was the best player on the field in general. How long are you going to roll this dice and maybe anger him to where he doesn't feel like he's getting to play as much as he wants either? So that's where I think this whole thing is interesting and fascinating.
And I don't want to make too much of this angle, but Taysom Hill is going to be making the rounds at Radio Row next week. He's one of the guests that we'll have on the program. And it tells me he's ready.
Exactly.
He's ready to cash in on his ability and maybe to expand his role with the Saints or someone else. And look, mechanically, here's how it works. He's a restricted free agent. The Saints can apply the highest possible tender. It would pay him $6 million, and there would be an opportunity for another team to sign him to an offer sheet that if the Saints can't or won't match it, they would get a first-round pick as compensation. And look, if they pay Drew Brees $20 to $25 million and they got another $20 million plus in dead money from Brees' past contracts they have to figure out how to deal with, there's a chance they can't afford Hill and somebody else makes an offer that the Saints look at and say, we just can't match this. They need to get him signed weeks before it gets to that point.
I think so. Well, Taysom Hill, I think, is taking a risk and all that anyways. I don't know if I'd be happy with any of that. Great, I get to come back this year at $6 million. Listen, we know that's a lot of money in the real world and all that, but this is football, and there's a different price tag as far as, who deserves what and what the inventory on the shelf really costs, all right? Taysom Hill, $6 million, but he's also going to go, man, I think there's some teams out there that would offer me more than that per year and have a chance to play. Oh, wait, great, I get to go back to New Orleans at $6 million a year, and they can smash me between the line of scrimmage and beat me up to where now I'm a free agent the next year and I'm not worth the same? Those are things that Taysom Hill's got to evaluate too. It's not necessarily fair to him that way too. Hey, Taysom, we don't want you to throw the ball and do all that, but we do love when you just smash it up there and we let 9 guys crush you when you run the ball. Can you do that for us again and help us go to a Super Bowl run? And then when you're banged up and messed up, hey, you can become a free agent and maybe you'll become our quarterback, maybe somebody else's. That's not an easy thing to swallow for Taysom Hill too. So I expect Drew Brees to be back, but I do think that this will be his last year. I guess that's what I would say to this whole situation.
Here's another thing to remember too. Even though Taysom Hill isn't quite at the Marissa Tomei, my biological clock is ticking like this phase, he's going to be 30 in August.
That's what I'm saying.
This guy isn't 24 or 25.
Right.
The window is only open for so long, and it may be his agent tells him, we're not going to take any offers from the Saints. I don't care what they are. We're going to make them apply that RFA tag, and we're going to see what else may be out there. And the thing is, and folks, this is the open secret in the NFL, the tampering's already happening. If somebody wants Taysom Hill, they're making it known to Taysom Hill's agent, hey, I wouldn't sign whatever Mickey Loomis has on the table at some creative thing where it's a co-job with, we're ready to make you our guy. And we're ready to pay you accordingly. And we're ready to give up a first-round pick to make it happen.
Yeah,
so they'll know.
You're right. The thing is, I don't know if he's played enough to have anybody willing to give him that money and really make that offer. That's where the Sean Payton and the Saints have a little bit of the power.
All I know is this. He was the best guy on the field for either team in the Saints-Vikings playoff game, and that should mean something. Maybe for the team that got run roughshod over by Taysom Hill, who has a quarterback under contract for only one more year, and maybe thinking our future isn't this immobile statue. Sorry, Kirk, we'll see you next week. In the pocket, it's a guy who can actually move with the football.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.